distancing. From what I hear, we're flattening the curve, so maybe in August we'll be back in school. Today, we're gonna learn how to make homemade biscuits. And there's a little disclosure here. I may do this different than other people. This is by no means stepping on my culinary friends' toes. I know I'm kind of jumping off of the ag bandwagon here. So y'all just give me a little slack, okay? First thing we're gonna do though, we're gonna wash our hands because that's important. So I'm going over here to wash my hands. One pump there, a little warm water. 20 seconds. Clean. We want to be clean. Alright, so the other thing I've done before I started the video, I cleaned my surface here. Clean towel and dried it up. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do after I wash my hands and clean my counter, I guess that'd be the third thing I'm going to do, is I'm going to preheat my oven. Y'all may not be able to see this, but I'm going to go to bake. And I'm going to preheat my oven to 450 degrees. Got my oven preheating here. I've got a bowl. I've pre-measured my favorite flour. You want to make sure it's self-rising flour. White Lily, in my opinion, that's an opinion, is the best. I don't know if this is something that you have to do, but my grandmother did it, so I do it. I have a sifter. You can buy these on Amazon. Maybe I'll buy them at Walmart. I got mine on Amazon. So I've got 2 cups of White Lily self-rising flour. It goes in my sifter, like so. And I'm going to sift out my flour. Shake it every now and then. This is real easy. There's not but 3 ingredients. Everybody talks about biscuits are so hard to make. I'd rather just go buy whop biscuits. That's the ones that come in the, is that the refrigerator aisle? I think they have freezer biscuits too. Is that right? I'm talking to my camera lady. Y'all can't make my wife because she's on the wrong end of the camera. I tried to get her to get in the picture with me. She didn't want anything to do with it. All right, butter. You can use Crisco. Some people may refer to it as lard. That's what my grandmother would have called it. Unsalted butter is what I like to use. And you're gonna need 4 tablespoons. Come over here so we can see this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's a total of 8 tablespoons. This particular brand of butter has it labeled off for you. Some will just put 1, 1, 1, 1, but they got this one numbered off all the way to 8. So we're gonna cut, and I like to make sure I get 4. So I cut there. I'm gonna go ahead and put this back in the refrigerator. We will need that later when we butter the biscuits after they're finished cooking. So I'm gonna take this out, just like so. This is the most aggravating part. I'm cutting the butter up into small, somewhat small pieces. Okay, that one got a little big. And I'm putting it in the flour. Okay. I'm sticking to it. I'm gonna keep some of this off of my hands. This is probably where I'm messing up in the food safety preparation, but I'm not cooking these for anybody but my family. We're having biscuits, fried chicken. That's a Dutch oven right there. I would teach y'all how to fry chicken. I hadn't fried a lot of chicken. Fried pork chops the other night, pretty good. Thought we'd try to find out if we can do chicken tonight. We usually grill chicken, grill pork chop, we grill everything. But we got tired of grilling. I mean, I've used 30 pounds of charcoal in the last 5 weeks. 30 pounds. So now we're gonna go the, I guess you'd say the least healthiest way. I'll throw this away. I'll be back with you in just a minute. wipe my hands off. I got butter on it. All right, here's the fun part. Butter is in the flour, and we got to mix it together. You got to get your flour and butter mixed together. They make something, I don't know. My culinary folks can help me, tell me what that thing is my grandmother used, but I just use my hand. And all I'm doing is I'm picking the piece of butter up, those little chunks, and working it into the flour by running it between my thumb and my finger. Okay, just like that. You can see that. I'm just mixing it in. My butter's a little cool. I took it out probably 5 minutes ago. If I would have taken the butter out, say 10 to, well, probably 15, 20 minutes ago and let it warm up, this would be a lot easier process. But when the butter is really cold, your hands start cramping up, like mine's doing right now. So a little labor of love right here. Look, I know y'all are probably freaking out because I don't have a beard right now. I am too. But I guess the quarantine got to me. All right, come over here and take a look. We're getting somewhat closer. There's a chunk right there. But I'm mixing all this butter, and oh, it makes it oh so good. I like butter. You can tell that by looking at me. Right, honey?
Right.
Don't eat Skinny Chef's food. Okay? We're not like Miss Cancer. We don't do the hippie food. I had to do that, Miss Cancer. I'm sorry. I hope you watch this to the end. Maybe you're not bored. All right, so I've got this somewhat mixed in. I think pretty good. Now the best part is we're making buttermilk biscuits. We've got a whole cultured buttermilk right here. If you don't want to use buttermilk, that's fine. You can use, my grandmother called it sweet milk. What's that called? Just regular milk? My grandmother called it sweet milk. So that's what I call it. All right, we're using buttermilk because they're better. I've got 3/4 of a cup of buttermilk. If you're gonna use whole milk, I think that's what I'm supposed to call it. If you use whole milk, I think it's a cup. They've got the ingredients, on the flour, they have the ingredients and measurements, all that you need. I've been doing this for a while, so I don't have to look at the ingredients and the measurement and everything, I know it. All right, so I'm gonna pour, here's a little trick right here. 3/4 of a cup, and I like to make a little divot right here. A what?
A well.
A well. The divot was from my golfing friends. All right, and if you notice, I just poured maybe half of that in there, and I'm gonna start mixing. Look here. Start mixing. It's gonna get tight. And you're like, man, this is not enough. This is not enough. We'll put the rest of it in. Just throw the rest of it in there. You're like, there's no way this is gonna work. Trust me. Don't add too much buttermilk. It's easier to add a little to it than take out. If you put too much buttermilk or if you put too much whole milk, bad day. All right, I've got just a little drop I need in there. I know about exactly how much I need to make the biscuits. People don't make biscuits because they're afraid they're gonna overwork the dough. They say, I can't make biscuits. I'm not even good at making biscuits. I made one bad batch, and it's because I used, what kind of flour was it? All-purpose flour. And you can use all-purpose flour, but there's some more ingredients that you've got to put in there. I don't know what you got to put in all-purpose flour. Okay? Use self-rising flour. I guess it's already got all that stuff in it. Right? Okay. All right. Now we're getting here where we're starting to get some dough. Everybody see the dough? Good. All right, we're gonna move that aside. And I'm gonna take a little flour and I'm gonna put it into my sifter. Now you know, my oven's at 305. It takes a while to get an oven hot to 450 degrees. Y'all hear Adeline? She's a sweetheart. I got Grayson over here. Everybody look, there's Grayson. Let's say Grayson. Hi, Grayson. You say hi, Grayson. Can you hand me a paper towel, Grayson? I need a paper towel. I dropped some buttermilk. While he's getting that, I'm gonna get me a little drink of buttermilk. How many people like buttermilk? I love it. Here. Buttermilk's good.
Almost 12 minutes.
Here you go, take a drink of buttermilk. Is that good stuff? Get this. This is awesome. She says, here, take a drink, brother. Show everybody on camera. Show everybody on camera you like buttermilk. Alright. Come on back. Are you finished? Is that all you want? Are you finished? You want some?
I want some in my drink.
I'll get you some in a little bit, okay? That is delicious. Even my children like it. Grayson used to drink it more. He thought he'd put hair on his chest. So he'd drink it, but now he don't drink it because he figured out it doesn't put hair on his chest. Alright, now, the dough's sticky. So you gotta put down, this is why I cleaned my counter. I'm sifting some flour. I'm just shaking this, okay? Out here. This is where my wife, Crystal, she gets upset because I get it all in the floor. I'm a messy cook, okay? I'm messy. But I'm rolling this out. Now, I'm not going to use a rolling pin. This is where people get real scared about making biscuits. And I should have put a little flour on my fingers here. All right, I'm going to put a little flour on my hands. Let me move this out of the way. All right. Look, is that a close shot right there? Look at the dough. You see, it's not dry, it's not wet. I don't know what that. You mix it, get all that flour mixed in there. Practice this at home. I put a little flour on my hands. See there? Now I'm just mashing it out. I'm gonna do this one time, like that. And I want to get it, I don't know, maybe a ½ inch thick, and then I'm gonna flip it over like this. I'll move a little flour around, get a little more flour on my hands, and I'm gonna mash it back down. Now, my culinary folks, they could help me out here of how long, you know, how many times I'm supposed to mash it down. I don't know. I can't tell you. I just know that if you continue to work this dough, that it's not gonna do right in the oven. I can't tell you why. I'm just showing you how to do it. I don't know the science behind it. All right, so I did that as what, 3 times? It's about how many times I do it. And I'll get it worked out. And if you notice, we're about maybe a 3/4 of an inch, something thick. The thicker your dough is here, when I get ready to cut them out, the more it's gonna rise. So it depends on kind of your personal preference as how thick, and you just have to cook a batch, and I don't like those, and you know, maybe leave it a little thicker next time when you, what I mean by is I push this down and make it thinner. If I make it thinner, they're not gonna rise as high. But if I make it real thick like that, they're gonna rise higher. Does that maybe that makes sense. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna get it down to about where we like our biscuits, and it's about 3/4 of an inch, okay? So I'm gonna take, I don't have a biscuit cutter, okay? I know you're not supposed to use a glass jar or something about, I don't know. It works for me. So I put a little flour on here, and I'm gonna cut it 1, 2, that's about all I'm gonna get. I'm gonna take my biscuits, and you can see kind of the thickness. That's about 3/4 of an inch thick. Okay. I'm gonna put, I use a cast iron, whatever that is. What's that called? Flat griddle iron something. Okay, pan, flat pan. Okay. Thank you. I'm telling you, this is out of my ballpark. But I thought it'd be neat to see the ag teacher do something besides ag stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna cut out 2 more biscuits. And this is taking longer than it normally would because I'm talking through the steps. So people think it takes a long time. I can cook a pan of biscuits almost as quick as you can get the freezer biscuits out if I'm just doing it myself and I have all the ingredients and I'm not talking through every single little step. Would you agree with that? That was a yes.
Yes.
And they're better, aren't they?
Yes.
Yes. All right, so we're down to, there's 7. I'm gonna have 7 and one that's gonna be kind of small. But I'm just,
For me?
every time, that'd be Adlin's. Every time I cut out, I just keep working my dough back together, get it back where I want it as far as the thickness. And this one, I'm gonna leave like that. That's Adlin's, that's her favorite one. All right, we're 5 degrees away from getting our, there it is. Our oven is up, heated up. So now I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna pop the biscuits in the oven. I don't know how long it takes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes. I just like to watch them until the tops are golden brown. When they get finished cooking, we'll be back.
This
All right.
one's gonna come
Here we are. We've been about 8 minutes or so. I'm gonna show you what it's looking like in there. 8 beautiful biscuits. We'll be back shortly. They are about finished. So that wraps up the biscuits here. If you come close, you see they got a good brown biscuit. I'm gonna turn off the oven.